All right, all right, all right. Hey everyone, this is your lovely host, Brandy J, and I am here with a guest that he needs to come off of his mute. YahJew Messenger. Messenger, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't know if you could hear
Greetings,
me.
everybody.
Yes, that's YahJew Messenger, everybody. Yes, this is Brandy J. This is YahJew Messenger, and you guys are joining me right here with Voices of Courage. And I am so excited to be here for another episode with another one of my family members. Let me go ahead and introduce you guys to YahJew Messenger. Hello there, YahJew Messenger.
Greetings, peace, everybody. How y'all guys doing? I'm fine this evening.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, thank you for joining us. How you feeling today? Is it good?
Yeah,
Excited?
feel
Yeah.
amazing. Yep,
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So let me
fantastic.
yes, let me get on into it and see. So, YahJew Messenger, what we have something that well everybody knows. Okay, let's just keep it funky all the way because this is a pattern, right? So these episodes you see here, these are about the Messiah walking the earth, right, Yaju?
Yeah,
Now, Yaju, let me ask you, how did you know that the Messiah, who he is, and how did you know he's walking the earth, and what was it that you knew? Was did you read it? Did you hear him? What was so significant that you knew that your Christ was amongst you?
it was like, the actions, that sets him apart than everybody, everybody that I look up to, had, claimed there was like big old leaders and stuff like that, like they're leaders, but the actions show forth the opposite. So YahJew, man, I saw his actions and all matched up.
Okay. Okay. So prior to that, like, what was your walk like? Did you know anything about like had you been Bible book fed or church or anything like that?
Yeah, I was following the Bible, I was, try to better my life, self-improve. I was all about self-improvement, but I wasn't, into, religion. I was just into the self-improvement of things, and, Yahjua clear that up for me. That way I won't be lost in these religions.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay. So you were like the rest of us, like well, not all of us were like that, but like you didn't. So many were under the impression, and still are, that he was coming from a cloud in the sky, right? You've heard that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did
Yes,
you ever
ma'am.
believe it? Did you believe it or think it at
Mm,
all? Kind of.
I was more unsure about it.
Hmm.
And I was fighting with that day and night. That's the thing that stuck to me. I said, my whole life I read the Bible and I said, this gotta be, the opposite of what it means. This gotta mean something deeper. There's gotta be something way deeper behind this Bible and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Like, because then, like, some people just don't get it. Like, like the whole world was lied to, right? So it's like nobody's like above or anything. Like, no matter what, you, Mexican, I mean, Hispanic, black, red, whatever, you know what I mean? Like Asian, whatever. You was lied to. We all was lied to. All in this together. Even the doggy and the kitty probably too. Like, all the everybody was lied to. We in this ship together, right? But, like, did you feel like when you were like going to church or like reading the Bible and stuff, like you were like, I don't know, but this something ain't right. Because I know I was sitting there like, like you said, it means something else. And there's isn't there like a verse in there that talks about being reborn again, but trying to explain it, and I like not like going back, but like it's your mom being born like birth, right? But it's saying like to renew your mind. Isn't there like the scripture for that when it talks about being born again?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I guess, but I don't
Yeah.
know what
Which one?
verse
Yeah.
it is.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that doesn't that like that right there kind of made knowing that was like the to explain, like, you know what I mean, set the bar for saying like, okay, being born again, all right, somebody might think, okay, like you got to come out the womb again, but no, boom. So that for me, that's what I pick up on too, like that there, like you said, it means something else. Because I wouldn't think it'd be just so easy to like just figure. Everybody just knows what God's thinking and stuff like that. He's God, for goodness sake. Or it's God. You know?
that's most definitely.
Yeah. Did you feel like you? What kind of thoughts did you have, like going through, growing up? Not even sure, not even knowing that we were fed a lie, but like, what kind of thoughts can you think of now that you had then? Like, you're probably like, you know, and I'll explain so you can understand where I'm coming from. Because for me, it was kind of like I would battle with myself and say, "Well, God, I mean, God wouldn't be mad if I was a little unsure, because He want me to be sure, like, like I would just sometimes I'd be like, maybe this isn't what I think it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't, and I would feel guilty. But then it was like, but the only way I'm gonna know is if I find out. And I think that I would battle, like I would think like stuff like that. So like, did you have any of that?
Yeah, I had like questions in my head and stuff, and anytime I try to pose these to people that couldn't answer, or to either shut me down, they'd be quick to shut me down and tell me to move on in next conversation, or they just like, bro, you crazy, you need like help, and stuff like that.
Was this
So
people in the church, or or your family? It's your family.
everybody, everybody that I ever associate with in my life,
Hmm.
you know.
Wow. So anytime you had questions that was kind of like the opposite of what they were telling you, then now you're crazy, right? When you question it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I get a feeling too, like that vibe, like they look at me crazy and like, what the hell you saying, bro? Like they don't know what I'm talking about.
Like speaking a foreign language or something, right? They're like, what is this he speaks? Isn't it weird, kind of crazy that you can't question anything? We're not supposed to
Yeah,
question things in school. We're not supposed to question the teacher and be like, so how is 2 plus 2? Make it make sense, teacher. Like, I just showed you. Like, we're not supposed to question, like question they told you, and that's it. That's indoctrination, and we didn't know. But you, real education, no matter where it's at, you're supposed to be able to question, ask, find out, and yeah, it's crazy that when you start asking those questions, you get looked at for thinking for yourself.
yeah,
Mm,
and it even happened, while I was at church, one of the random people, told me to not, quote unquote, question God and stuff. And I was like, you know, that's what, you know, me doing that on top of, people looking at me strange is, and also separating themselves from me and, making, I always be a group, well, full of people, but no matter how much screwed people I be in this world, I be just feeling alone,
yeah.
regardless.
So you were like the black sheep too? Like you always felt like the outsider?
Yeah, I even felt that way, like in 2000, like before, like probably like 2017 and stuff like that. Um, I already was quite hit too, I was a dude that will feed into the conspiracy theories about the government, this and that. You know, I was the I was doing that before then, 2020 and stuff like that.
Okay. I was definitely picked up on stuff like that when I was, and I don't even know why. I just was like, I don't trust that government. I swear I don't know why. I just like I felt like I said I'm a. What do you call those people that activist, or I think it was another word too. And I just like took on that identity. Didn't know, but I just felt like someone right. Now, to this day, I know that this is real because I've been like this ever since. But I didn't even like start reading anything about it. Like I like in high school, I didn't learn in school at all. I didn't learn anything about. I read the government like student government book, like with the presidents, the amendments, and all that stuff. I read that shit like a novel, like for myself. They didn't have that shit in school, so I don't know if they have it today. But yeah, so what I'm saying is, like what we have in common, like with you, like and some of the other members, we all had that sense of loneliness that we were on the outside looking in, we didn't fit. Even like when you're a crowd full of people, right? You still kind of feel alone, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I still do to this day. I still feel like in settings, I'm like, I don't feel bad about it, but I notice that it's different. Yeah, very different. So that's something that's unique that we all do share with one another. And I don't know how you like you said it makes you feel a way. It made a lot of us feel a different way. For me, independent, but for the most part, I kind of took it like when I was younger and made it. People would call me weird, like, and I used to have these little keychains to be like, "I'm not weird, I'm gifted." Like little keychains. Like I just said, "Hey, if I'm weird, then that's who I am." So yeah. So I'm all about like telling kids like, "Hey, be who you are." They said you're weird. Do you think you're weird? Only if you think you're weird. If you're weird, then love it, wear it. But yeah, so they can embrace who they are or who they're becoming. But yeah. So when for you, so what is it that stands between? I don't want to say stands between you. So here we are, right at this moment, and there's YahJew Judah, the Messiah. Christ here on earth, people. Because I don't, I don't want to come off. I'm really checking myself. I want to come off a certain way, right? Because I'm you, I was you, I'm still you, I'm still with you guys. But he ain't coming out of no sky. And I thought that was a little weird what I was saying in the first place. I knew I was just saying that stuff, but I was unsure. I was like, I don't think he's coming down here. It's so dirty. You know what I mean? Like, you think shit like that? Like, I was like, I can't believe I thought that. But I think I was like you, YahJew Messenger. I wasn't too sure, but that's what they had said. And that's why I'm trying to like empathize with like the listeners and like people like still not in the truth, like haven't heard the truth. I was there, you was there, we was there, we were in the same boat. You know what I mean? Like same boat as them. I don't think if I ever would have heard Danny's voice, I would even, you know, I don't even know if there was a if, but I did. He came in like a. It was weird how he came in. It was not expected. It was like somebody came in, swooped in, and like this voice came from nowhere. Was your first voice? Who was your first voice? Was it YahJew or I think you said it was the Messiah, right?
You said,
Your
can you
first voice.
reword that question?
Who was your first voice? The one you heard first? Was it Danny or was it Messiah?
It was one other of the saints.
Got it.
I don't want, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I got you. Okay, so good because look where you are now. Boop, boop. But okay, 'cause you know what? Even if you don't think you are, you got when you doing God's work, you're doing God's work. No matter how you do it, you think you're doing it. But okay. So how I want to ask you this. So I always like to like ask different questions and just give a different feel for everybody. How's your life been from before to to now that you know, right? Because it's a different blinders, it's different eyes. After hearing the voice, hearing Yaju's voice. How's your life literally from before and now today? How's your life different? The good or bad, whatever it may be.
Okay, so my life before, I was like, not having nothing to stand on. So of course, you know, what I was following the laws, what is whatever. I was in the world and stuff like that, and and I was following the wrong order, but now I have something to stand on, and I have something to self improve on. I have something to work for and to strive for, to be the best person in that I ever want to be in my whole life. But except in a humbling way, I give YahJew and the creator of all living things this praise.
That's what's up. Okay. Can you tell us? I'm gonna have to block this part out because there's a trash truck outside. I probably shouldn't even say that. I should have just rolled with it. But no, I'm gonna take this part out. Can you go ahead and can you share? Because I'm gonna go shut this window. Oh, now he wants to stop. I'm gonna shut it anyway. But while I do this, can you just share with everybody what is your favorite? What is your favorite? Not out of the book, but what is your favorite? Like when y'all do talks, I know it's probably you don't even have. Like I don't think we all have a favorite, but I might could find one. I have favorite things that I like to. I don't think I have one, but do you have something that he says or a scripture or anything that he says? Because he doesn't really focus hard on the Bible. You know, he doesn't even act like he just knows it all, but he knows he got the understanding. No matter what, even if he didn't read, it, he knows he has the understanding, and that's what people don't get. Is there like something about how he speaks of it, or is there a certain things that you like that he says that you like, that really, you know what I'm saying? Or is it like everything? Because some people are like, no matter what it is, like I don't know. Is it different for you?
And I say like what he said. I like this part. An empty wagon makes a bunch of noise, but I like the rest of what he says. It's like every time he talks, like it's recharge. You know, it's like it's like it's like I'm constantly like when I'm like around him. It's like his presence, like everywhere he speaks. It's like a higher vibrational behind it.
Yeah, for sure. Do you how do you feel? Do you think that it confuses people? Like, say for instance, like, did you have an image in your head before you found out who the Messiah was? Like, did you have an image? Because everybody tried to paint that. They tried to paint the image for us, right? With the the white Jesus, right? But besides that, right? Because I think everybody kind of got to the idea, but we knew like, okay, it's not white, right? But still, people still seem really surprised, or like I think they're taken back, right, when they see Audrey. And I'm just thinking, like, well, I don't know about you guys, but when I look at it, it makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. And then put on all this meekness that he's wearing. And I'm saying, yeah, I ain't seen nobody doing this at all whatsoever. But did you have an image? Did it shock you? Like, were you a little thrown off? Because I'm trying to figure out what it is for others. But did you already have it in your mind, or did it throw you off at all when you saw him?
Yeah, I'll admit this one. I had an image, but before, but I didn't feed in too much into that because it's like, I'm over here, battling with questions about this and about that. Like it's like, that image is like it don't even like matter to me because like I'm over here, focused on questions and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So of course I had that image. My head was messed up that time. I admit that one. So yeah.
But it was easy to like deal with. It's like, okay, move on to the next, right? What's the point? Yeah, like some people get so stuck on that. They're like, it's like you. How do you even know, right? I just keep going back to like your own vain imagination. Come on. No matter what we do, no matter what we read, look at, we're gonna read it in our own interpretation, our own vain imagination. Because how else we're gonna do it? So we have to humble ourselves. We have to be aware of that and be like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. But it's so hard for people to pull away from it. I was reading something the other day. I forgot what it was called, but it's the way people think and how we'll convince ourselves. I forgot the word for it. Like we'll convince. It was like going in a circle. We'll convince ourselves to believe what we were trying not to or trying to be right about. It's like we don't get out of that cycle of trying to like, okay, this is my thoughts. Let me get out of it. No, we'll just reassure ourselves again that we're right and we stay stuck in our own belief. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't think I had an image. I just knew that what they was trying to paint for me, right? And so when I would like read words or somebody would read them to me and say like these scriptures that I'm not going to lie and say I read them. They're being read to me about the color of the skin, and I was still trying to make it. I was just like, I wonder what that looks like. You know what I mean? But so here it is. But those are the things that are distracting people. And for you, Yajun, I know you know, but the most important thing that they should be focusing on is what?
You talking to me?
Who else am I talking to? Don't mind him, guys. He's so silly. No, yes, sir. I'm talking to you. Did you hear my question?
Yeah, what's your question reworded?
I was saying, what do you think? People. Like I was asking you, like, did you have like already like a preconceived like expectation of what he looked like? And how people get really distracted by these little things right here versus like what's most important. And I wanted you to tell everybody or reiterate, but what should people really be focused on, right? Because I noticed, and I know you notice, everybody is hung up on, well, you don't look like them. Well, you don't look like you got tattoo, like, and you don't, and they don't even know. They don't even know. That's the crazy part. It's their own vain imaginations. Once again, so like, so what is it that they should be focused on versus like these little things that they was made up in their head anyway?
I say like his receipts and actions um will match up if you listen and hear and look and learn from YahJew, and it'll make sense because they will, if you you know let it work on you. He can say the most shortest sentence and it can be true, and it'll stick to your bones day and night, and it'll start marinating. So yeah, just find a listening ear, you know, wondering, um, be curious why he's getting so much hate and why he's getting, stuff, happening to him. So you don't, when you see these liars, man, not a lot of things is happening to them. Their phones are not getting tapped. They're not getting a lot of hate. They're getting a lot of love. They're getting a lot of so-called, love and liking to other people. You know, but the true one is like, not get like not get enough love for everybody, and everybody just like, oh no, I'm like, I don't want to be affiliated with that dude. They're just like, scared to stand up. That's why I was like, before my journey, I was like, somebody got to stand up, bro. Like, this is not good at all.
Yep, that's true. Very true. Sorry. I always get a moment. Get a little sad. Yeah, that's true. Like he can say the most like shortest sentence, and everything that comes out, I just hold on to like it's treasure. You know, this is the first time I've ever heard someone speak, and I can just take every bit of it and like believe it. Right? You know, like we're taught to be in this world like you can't believe everything, and then if you do believe everything, what's wrong with you? But people do that already. That's why we are. So it's like it's kind of weird, and people do that. You know, that's why indoctrinated. You know, we don't really have that much of a chance. You know, we were born into it, and then when you start to think for yourself, that's when it's a problem. And I think it really, all really was to stop us from this here. That's, this was everything. All I can ever come. I would have these epiphanies, and I'd be like, "Oh my goodness, I know what this is." Especially this whole pandemic, I would just out have these like outbursts. It would have nothing to do about anything, and I would stop in my tracks, and I'd be like, "My goodness, this is about this is about Christ. This is about being with God, no matter what it was." And it was. But I didn't know why, but I knew it. And I didn't know why it hit me when it hit me. But I knew everything was an attack for this right here. But I never say it because I knew nobody would understand it. I knew they wouldn't understand it. Did you ever have those moments where you just didn't say anything because you knew nobody was going to receive it?
Yeah, I had those moments.
You know? Has this brought you closer to your family or more separate or just the same?
You mean as in my blood family?
Yeah. Or whoever you could, yeah, yeah, your family outside of the council, like your you know your immediate family like because I think I don't want to put words in your mouth or I assume, but you're the only one that's in the truth, right?
Um, I say like, as far as my family, I'm the only family member that's in, you know, in you know, in my immediate family, I'm the only one that's in, in this truth, you know. But our relationship so far, I say like, it's a little bit meh. Uh, it's like it's like confusing, you know. It's
Yeah,
very confusing. I don't know which side they're on. They're like, I just like, um, I look at them. They're like, some of them they believe in, you know, they believe that they be like conspiracy theories. That's true. That has some truth to that. Yeah, they 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 understand, the part about the government and stuff like that, and the theories and stuff. Deep stuff like that. But I think they just like, you know, in the fence with it.
yeah.
Still.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I have that same thing going on. I'm not gonna lie. I put it out there, and then Danny made it make sense. Like you don't have to just what I mean, use YahJew Judah. You don't have to do it yourself. Like send them to him or play the video or something. And I'm like, I know, I get it, but I just know that me personally, I know that I feel like I'm holding. I don't know if I'm holding back, and that's why I'm saying it, just in case I am. But I just already know. You know what I mean? So that's why I play. I do this for all of us. I play the shows. I go through people's like, and I do little drive-bys and drop off, what I mean, YouTubes and stuff. Like, listen to that, and for family and stuff, so they can get it. Does it make sense? Harken the voice. You can get it from the mouth, right? And if you got any questions, I can lead you. I'm gonna put this stuff there, so you can just go there. If you have any questions, still, I answer. I say I'm gonna send you to where you need to go, you know. But it's just like I don't know. It's not like I just want to be like, this is me and good luck, tough cookies for you. I want you to go too because I was lied to too. Thought I was going to see my mom again and I wasn't. So that was a big one for me. And I don't even know if I really believed it, but I Kind of did. They kept saying we'll see our loved ones again. So that was an eye opener for me. But it's okay. I'm okay with it. But so many people believe it still. And so many people died, like in the namesake of it. Like so many people like were okay with leaving this earth just in the namesake of saying that they'll be back or whatever they were told and it's not wasn't true. So that's why I think that when we are in the position that we are, it's very, very important to stay humble. Because stuff like that keeps me humble because I was there, so I definitely get it. When people hold on to stuff like that, you truly believe it. It gives you hope, but a hope that you didn't really need. You needed the truth. So yeah, that always tears me up. So don't mind me, YahJew. I think I did it in the last one too. I did it when I first met YahJew. But that's the one for me. Yep. So YahJew, what is it? I'm over here boo-hooing. YahJew, I'm gonna have to tell you how to be a. When Brandy is crying, you need to kick in, right? And be like, okay, I got this. We got to do video or something so you can lift weights for him, y'all. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I cry, you talk. You cry, I talk. I don't know what we gonna do. What we gonna do, Messenger? What we gonna do? Oh man, oh man. I do appreciate you coming on. Ever since I came, I've been around. You've been there. You. It didn't take long for you to grow on me. I think you're funny. Made me laugh, but you're solid. You're a real one. You know, and you be cracking me up. You be like, "No, sir." You're like, "Yeah, let's get to the point. Let's do this, okay?" But no, you be cracking me up, and but you're a real one. You're solid, and you know what I mean. I can. I know we've been going through some things lately over there, but I do appreciate you. For who you are, and also for sharing, on my show because this is important, and I just appreciate anybody that's willing to be a part of anything that I do. So thank you.
Mm. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I always try to put myself in the beginner spot, every day, you know, because I want to stay humble, 24/7, because, I just see what egos do to everybody, including to me in the past, because I had like a little ego to, something else than besides religion. I wasn't speaking on behalf of God. I was just being egotistical, back then, I didn't humble myself, but in my journey I've been shown that. It's like, bro, stay humble, man. Like it's like ever since then, I'm not saying that I'm, completely good at this, but it's slowly, becoming a skill, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's something that has to be definitely like practiced and to the point where you're so aware of it that you catch it. Like just like right now when I was saying because empathy that's like my thing, right? But it's not like I'm perfect and I have to make sure that I check myself. So sometimes when I get a little perturbed and I'm just like, what's wrong? Why am I not getting it? And I have to humble myself and remember like this moment I just had when I remembered when I was, when I spoke to Yaju Judah, we talked about your loved ones or just people, coming, when you see them again. And that reminds me, You know what I mean? Like again, that others have that same feeling, like now or not, but they have it. They had it. I know what it feels like, and then what it just do to me right now. So it just that just humbled me to be a lot to make sure I stay humble and soft because I sometimes I wonder how Danny does it. You know, he can keep it down for so long, like he holds it down. I'm like, yeah, this look, oh, you know what I mean? But you know, we all have that vulnerability, and I never want my empathy to leave me. Like, no matter how hard it gets, I still want to be able to stay in that position where I never think I'm above, and that I can't be below. You know what I mean? Can't be below, right? Because I always want to be able to touch bases with people, no matter what, and let them know that we're here. You could be there too. So I don't know if that makes sense at all, but yeah. Before I want to say something to you, Andrew. I don't want to ask you a question. Where you live at, do you see a high amount of homelessness?
Yes, I see homelessness around Tennessee where I'm at, and what is it? People have a bunch of drug problems, some of them, but overall, is there's homelessness here, um, yeah.
Yeah, I was asking because before I came back from the store, I've just been noticing more and more. You know, and considering I've been at that moment where I'm like, I don't know, is this gonna work out? And it does. But I was just noticing like more and more, and I was like, how did we get to this point? Like, whose job is this? Like, this is just normal. Like, this is conditioned where people just walk. I always I look. There was this man for like the whole pandemic. He was a Jehovah Witness in his suits, and then when pandemic hit, he in his car, no t-shirt, no shirt, and just I watched him, but. Tried to say to him something to him once, and he almost like, "Argh," but he didn't let me get it out. I think he thought I was gonna like try to give him food, and he didn't want that. But that's not what I was gonna say. So I never tried to talk to him anymore after that. I actually wanted to compliment him and say, sir, through all of this, I still see you out here. But he didn't hear that because somebody had just got through talking to him. But I always still looked out for him. I always look for him, see his car move from side to side. I haven't seen him in weeks, right? So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, is he okay? Like his car's in here that they finally moved. Did he find a place? Like I don't know. So it's kind of bothering me because for the whole pandemic, I've seen this man out there, surviving. But I see more and more other people just sleeping on the ground, and I'm just like, so, like, what are we supposed to do about this? Because I know nobody thinks that. What are we supposed to do about this? Right? But I do. I do. I do. But I was just wondering how it looked in other people's states because something's not right. Should be nothing normal about it. But I don't want to sit here and like get all emotional because YahJew Messenger is going to allow this, people. So I'm just gonna go ahead. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna let YahJew Messenger shut this shit down. So YahJew Messenger, what's gonna happen is you're gonna tell the people what you want them to know before you leave, so they remember what you said and what they need to know about the Messiah, YahJew Judah, and what to look forward to. Can you do that for us? You got this, buddy.
Yeah,
Hit it.
yeah. I say like be quick to listen and slow to speak. That's more important right there. Look at his actions and trust me, you will you will you will see his receipts that he is holding, that he got. And also to leave y'all on this one, we all been getting this, we all been getting that, but what we're not getting is understanding. So what all you're getting, get understanding. get understanding people. So peep, you know, peep game when YahJew speaks. So peace and blessings to the righteous ones. If this message is meant for you, um, go to YahJew.com. YahJew all social media platforms. Put in time, sharpen yourself with his revealings on YouTube at YahJew. And I'll end it at that note. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Perfect. And if you see that banner going across, you see that there's a website. And so I'm going to ask you, because you said something really amazing, his teachings and everything. So to shut this one down, I do have a very great clip that we can end it out with. Do you mind if I play it, or do you think we should play it? That's the perfect way to end this, right? Is what y'all do, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's do it. It's about 5 minutes, less than, it's like 1 minute and something, probably less than that, guys. But something you should really listen to. Take hearken to. Here we go.
Now, y'all, here's a statue of an individual that most of us don't know. But he's actually a great emperor of Ethiopia. Now, he sat on David's throne, and in this statue, it reads, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Now, I'm here to bring enlightenment, because there's no other statue that's connected to an African man, or no other way around the world where they are given the title King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Now, why is that important? Because that title is given to who? A 2,000-year-old individual called Jesus Christ. But yet, we got a 150-year-old individual, which is something we can prove, something we can touch, something tangible, something we can handle. And he really has the title King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So I want to know, why are we not taught about this individual in history? He got to be important. It's a gold statue in Ethiopia. He's very important. Why are we not taught? The devil deceived the whole world.
Mm. The whole world, y'all. Remember that. All right, there. Thank you so much. And once again, everybody, give a shout out to YahJew Messenger. Thank you so much for joining me here.
Yeah,
That's
peace, everybody.
so silly. Guys, he's already lifting weights. We have to bring you back, y'all, just so you can give us some tips. Do you think you can do that on another episode? Because we're going to do stuff about health and things to keep yourself fit mentally and all that stuff. You think you want to get on that?
I guess, yeah,
Okay,
I do,
for
I
sure.
do.
We'll definitely bring you back. I'll let you know when. You could definitely give put in on that, because I think that's important. All right, guys, thank you so much. Once again, YahJewJudah.com. Check it out. And until next time, this is your girl, Brady J, and YahJew Messenger. Peace.
Peace, y'all.